let's look at the grip. Now with the grip, you have many different grips. You watch players and you see that their hands on the cue turn and they are all sorts of different positions. But something to remember is, again, we're trying to keep it consistent. We're trying to keep the same control of the cue so that the cue stays straight, going backwards and forwards. And one way to start is to just pick the cue up like this. And we can immediately see that in here, there's a V that forms at the top of my hand. You heard that referred to as a V grip, and a lot of players tend to use that because it's very, very good. So once I have this V in place and I start cueing, the V is remaining at the top, and that keeps my wrist and my hand very still. Again, there's less movement from everything else, just my forearm swinging backwards and forwards, and that keeps it nice and still. Now, in your arm, when you're cueing, there's a pendulum effect, so that as our arm goes back, it goes up, it goes down, and comes up again. What we don't want to do is have our cue going up, down, up, down, up, down. We want it keeping it nice and still, as level as possible through the shot. One way to do that is when you have this grip, and again, if you just lose the V, you just point your cue out and the V's back there. If we turn our hand around, as I pull my hand back, I don't lock all the fingers, because it'll hold it and restrict it from coming back and also start to take it up on that pendulum. So as I loosen my fingers at the back, I can still keep my cue fairly level and still keep control of it. So as far as grip strength, I can still do this pulling it through, but it's enough to hold the cue. I certainly don't want to grab it. If you grab it on the delivery, it tends to restrict the cue from going through and stops putting the spin that you require on the cue ball, getting through the cue ball and allowing it to roll properly. The other thing you don't want to do is have it so loose that your wrist starts moving as well. There's got to be some strength in your hand to hold that cue and maintain the movement as straight as possible with the cue. So your grip, some of the best players in the world have what they call a V grip, and the easiest way to find that is to pick the cue up. You'll see that that's already got the V. If I point my hand out like that, you'll see that the V remains. I'm making sure that it's swinging backwards and forwards and staying the V at the top of the cue. That tends to be one of the best grips for playing snooker and pool.